Have you ever wondered what the difference is between weather and climate? Let's start with understanding what weather is. Picture this. You step outside and feel the warmth of the sun on your skin or perhaps the chill of a breeze. Maybe you notice raindrops on your window or a clear blue sky above. This is weather. It's what you experience in the here and now. It encompasses elements like temperature, humidity, precipitation, cloudiness, visibility, and wind. It's an ever-changing ballet of conditions that can shift from minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, and season to season. One day might be warm and sunny, the next could bring rain or even a snowstorm. This is the dynamic nature of weather, constantly in motion, always surprising us with its variety. So, in a nutshell, weather is what we experience in our day-to-day life. Now that we understand weather, let's move on to climate. Picture a vast, sweeping landscape as opposed to a single snapshot. That's the difference between climate and weather. Climate is the long-term average of weather, taking into account the patterns of temperature, humidity, and precipitation within a certain region. When we talk about climate, we're not talking about a few days, weeks, or even months. We're talking about long-term patterns that span seasons, years, and even decades. So if weather is the outfit you choose to wear today, climate is your entire wardrobe, carefully curated according to the region's usual weather patterns. Climate gives us a broader understanding of a region's weather. It tells us what to expect in general, whether it's the frosty winters of Siberia or the tropical monsoons of Southeast Asia. In simpler terms, climate is the big picture of what weather is like in a particular region over a long period. So how do weather and climate differ from each other? Let's dive into the key differences. The most fundamental difference between the two is the time scale. Weather describes the atmospheric conditions over short periods of time, ranging from minutes to days. It's like the daily mood of the atmosphere. It can be sunny one day and rainy the next. On the other hand, climate is like the atmosphere's personality. It's a description of long-term patterns, typically over a period of 30 years or more. It's the big picture that helps us understand what kind of weather to expect in a certain place at a certain time of year. You can think of it this way. Weather is what decides whether you'll need an umbrella or sunglasses when you step out today, whereas climate is what guides you on what types of clothes you should have in your closet. Remember, weather is what dictates your daily outfit, while climate determines the kind of clothes you should keep in your wardrobe. Understanding weather and climate is not just for meteorologists. It affects us all. The weather influences our daily activities. It dictates whether we carry an umbrella, put on a sun hat, or wear a winter coat. It might even determine if we decide to stay indoors or head out to enjoy the great outdoors. But the climate plays a more substantial role in our lives, though it's not as immediately noticeable as the weather. The climate of a region influences long-term decisions. It affects what crops a farmer chooses to plant. After all, you wouldn't plant a tropical fruit in a region prone to frost, would you? It also informs our choices about what kind of house to build, or what kind of energy sources we should invest in. So, knowing the weather forecast is as important as understanding the climate of the region where you live. But what happens when the climate changes? Well, let's delve into that. Climate change, as we know, is the long-term alteration of temperature and typical weather patterns in a place. And this change doesn't just affect the average temperatures, but it also disrupts the balance of our environment. You see, as our climate changes, we're witnessing more extreme weather events. Heat waves become hotter, storms become more severe, and droughts last longer. These aren't just one-off events, but symptoms of a larger shift, a change in our climate. In essence, climate change is shaking up our weather, making it less predictable and more extreme. It's like turning the volume up on our weather, making everything louder and more intense. This means that understanding the difference between climate and weather becomes even more crucial. So, understanding the difference between weather and climate is not just academic, it's crucial to our survival in a changing world.